Sadness of last week continues, not for the same reasons, but for different reasons, but all the reasons connected to our country, Ghana. I'm very sad. I'm very sad today. Earlier in the day, I was getting about my duties here in the office, and people were tagging me. You know, my friend Zigidibo, who I was with in Commonwealth Hall, the one who called me and said, Zigidibo always calls on WhatsApp. He lives in Ghana and lives abroad. So when he called, I said, "Hey, Chief, are you in town?" He said, "Yeah, he's in town." He said, "But have you seen people tagging you on social media?" I said, "What have I done?" And he went through a long litany of stories. But tonight I'm sad for two reasons. Good evening. Welcome to the show. And may the departed rest in peace. That was a brilliant coming together last Friday of all Ghanaians to bury our own dead, and very, very tragic and traumatic. Sunday, I saw smiles on people's faces at the Christ the King. And it was refreshing to see that some of the people who had shed brutal tears on Sunday looked better. The choir, the Christ the King Church was amazing. The music was good. And the camaraderie among Ghanaians from all walks of life was very good. By midday at Christ the King, it looked like things were settling down. But you know, it happens late in the night when you go back to bed and you remember that what has happened, and it's quite debilitating, isn't it? Anyway, good evening again and welcome. I don't know how many times I'm saying good evening to you. I'm very, very sad for two reasons today. The first reason why I'm sad is that we're reading on social media today that President John Dramani Mahama had to be in Dubai for 22 hours waiting for a connecting flight. Let me get on the touch screen and let's try and understand some of these controversies and difficulties that happen. You know, viewers, we have to build our country. And we have to build our country on credibility and credible stories. Why did the president of Ghana is operating about a $62 billion economy these days. Remember that when John Kufuor became president in 2000, the economy was $4 billion. By the time he was leaving office in 2008, the economy was $16 billion. He quadrupled it. By the time the NDC were leaving in 2016, it was something like 50-something billion. By the time Akufo-Addo was leaving in 2024, it's 62 billion. That's growth. But why was a country like that? Now, we are a country that needs to be marketing ourselves. Ghana is a country that needs to be marketing ourselves because we have come from a history like many other developing and African countries where the narrative that has gone out about our country is not the narrative that we have generated. And that's why people come here for December to remember. Is that how we call it? People come here for December to remember, or Dirty December, however you want to call it. And they are surprised that we don't live on trees, and they are surprised that we ride in cars and all of that. Because the narrative that has gone outside about our country is not controlled by us, was never controlled by us. It was controlled by other people. So we find ourselves in a situation where we have been able to build, but we need to tell that story. Therefore, anybody who is a president of Ghana is a chief marketing officer of the Republic of Ghana, perhaps of ECOWAS as well, and perhaps of Africa as well. If the Nigerian president goes out to market Nigeria, he's marketing it on behalf of Africa. If the Ghanaian president goes out, so a president going out of his country would happen many times. And it doesn't happen for the same reason. The American president goes out to establish American authority. Ghanaian president goes out to market the nation and tell the people that this is Ghana, not what you think, this is how it looks like. We now have the opportunity for our presidents to tell the narrative from our perspective. But because of politics, bad politics. Mr. President, we are sorry, we are really sorry. President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, was traveling from Accra to Japan. 20,238 kilometers. Japan is 9 hours ahead of Ghana. So what's the time right now? So it's 9:36 in Accra. The time in Japan is 9 hours ahead. So it's 9 o'clock. So you go from 9, 10, 11, 12. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's 6:30 a.m. in Japan. The president traveled 20,000 kilometers. He traveled, as the story says, on Emirates, which is okay, which is understandable, which we appreciate. He traveled on Emirates airline. He traveled in first class, quite comfortable, and then he got to Dubai. We understand that in Dubai, from Kofi Tonto and others on social media, that the president left Ghana on Sunday evening but arrived in Japan just today. He waited 22 hours in Dubai, had to use a train for about 2 hours to Tokyo, from Tokyo to Yokohama. As Empire FM said it, the president had to suffer because of petty politics. Yes, petty politics. Petty politics. Politics that is animated by hatred. That's why I'm sad today. Because of somebody's ambition for power, he denigrates a president so much so that another person becomes president and he's afraid to make a decision in the interest of the president's safety, in the interest of the president's comfort so that he can think, in the interest of the president's security so that he's confident to present his case. President of Ghana is sitting at a location in Dubai, 22 hours. What kind of security is provided for him over there? He's not in the comfort of his Jubilee house, where all the security is available. The Ghana Armed Forces are available. The Ghana Police Service is available. National security is available. But here, he's in a location outside his country, and he's not in his own plane. He's sitting in a location 22 hours. Why? Because of terrible politics. Bad politics. Never again. We should never encourage that again. People encouraged it. Hey, Akufo-Addo is bad. Akufo is bathing in the air. He can't bath in the air. When Dominic Nitiwu stood before Parliament and said that the presidential jet is not fit for purpose and that the president cannot even freshen up in it. Hey, come and see cartoon. The cartoon they had, the Daily Guide guy, what's his name? I can't remember his name. There's a TV3 guy. Both of them are very good. Tilapia put cartoon. Then they have Akufo-Addo with some boxer shorts and he's holding a pail. And he's pouring water on himself and he's sitting in some aircraft. And one by one, the votes of the party was winning away. Ghanaians were getting upset because they trust politicians. And this politician here wanted to make a meal out of something that was about national security. So President Akufo-Addo travels, he comes. Oh, Akufo-Addo thinks we don't know. He traveled and he came back in a private jet. He arrived at 1 a.m. I saw him. He thinks that he's hiding. People caution that this is very dangerous. Publishing the president's itinerary is very dangerous. Nobody listened. Of course, the prices were high. So if prices are high, we all don't listen. I'm guilty, and that's why I'm rendering an apology to the president. I'm guilty. I had occasion to go and complain. Why is the president flying this, Other people complained. I remember in one of my complaints, one of them, I won't mention his name, he said, oh, clear off. Why are you following the NDC propaganda? And I said, this NDC propaganda is going to cost us the election. I'm guilty. I feel very guilty. Because I love President Mahama. He's a nice guy. People love him. Why should he? If President Mahama is not president of Ghana, I can assure you, he's not going to sit in any airport for 22 hours. Why would he do that? Why is he going to do that? The only reason why President Mahama had to be cocooned in an airport for 22 hours is because he's president of Ghana. If President Mahama is not president of Ghana, having been president before, there are many things he can do. He can call on his friend. He can call on another head of state. He can do so many things. And since Akufo-Addo traveled to Nigeria recently, I don't think that he used any commercial plane. He's former president. He can call on his friend, please pick me up. President Mahama would have, but today, President Mahama is frightened. How is he going to call for a private? Hey! This is a president whose brother has a private jet. Think about it. Think about it. This is a president whose brother has a private jet. And the government of Ghana could have paid for the private jet of the president's brother. The president's brother is not the only Ghanaian who has a private jet, mind you. There are Ghanaians who have private jets better than Ibrahim's plane. I know that. Ibrahim knows that. Everybody knows that. We know them. They don't want their names to be mentioned. So we will not mention their names. They have two. This individual I'm talking about has two private jets. Oh, at least you know Magdan. Magdan, you know. I'm not talking about Magdan, but Magdan we all know. Magdan has said he has a private jet, so we can repeat it. Magdan has a private jet. Government of Ghana could have paid for it. But President Mahama is afraid to do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but he is afraid. Why? Because of bad politics. Terrible politics. The people who are renting houses at Airport Hills, their politics is what has brought us here. Terrible politics. And then today is foreign minister. How is he going to manage it? Foreign minister. You should be making the calls and say that we are arriving at Dubai on Emirates in the morning. Can we get a plane to take us to Japan? Because the president has to address a meeting there. He's marketing Ghana. So how much would it cost? Of course, we all agree that we can't go for an exorbitant cost. Private jets have different series. We just need a plane to carry the president from Dubai to Japan in basic comfort. We don't want him to have a plane that has a jacuzzi, a plane that has champagnes popping from everywhere, a plane that has this and that. No. We just want a plane that takes about 12 people, President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Presidential Aide Joyce Bauer, Minister of Trade Hannah J. If the Minister of Finance Atuforsen is there, he's on it. Attorney General Dominic Ahini. Yeah, 12 key people. Secretary to the President, Dr. Kalistus Mahama. 12 people. To just carry the president from Dubai. So when the president gets off the plane in Dubai, security is arranged. They hang around with him and say, Mr. President, where's your bag? Pick it, quick. Oh, the plane is ready. When you get to Japan, you can have breakfast. It's fine. We'll just fly. It's about, 5 hours. We'll be there. He gets into the plane. He can have access to his phone, check what's happening in Ghana, call back his spokesperson if he's not with him, call back his chief of staff and say, Chief, we have arrived in Dubai. We are heading for Japan. Everything okay? Everything is fine. After the funeral, good. Everything good. He say, Chief of staff may regale him a little bit with some jokes and say, Mr. President, the people are complaining about your smoke at Christ the King, blah, 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 but that's funny. They all laugh and then they move on. Quickly, they get to Japan. He's ready for the event. It's the foreign minister's job. But here is a foreign minister who, because of bad politics, will now saddle our president to sit in one place and wait for 22 hours. Why? Why do we do these things to ourselves? Just because of political power. The NDC would have still won the election without all that tirade about Akufo-Addo's private jet. The NDC would have still won the election. And Akufo-Addo's record shows that he was flying the same Emirates President Mahama flew to Dubai. But then when he has to connect from Dubai to some place, he gets to Belgium and he has to connect and he has to wait. You have seen all the Eugene Ahin statements. Akufo-Addo had to wait 17 hours somewhere. Within that 17 hours, he'll be back in Ghana. He was coming to Ghana at 3 a.m. so that he's in Ghana for the next day's cabinet. We say no. No. Now President Mahama left. The battle started on Sunday. Hey, there was a private jet in Ghana. What was the private jet doing? Now, those who were complaining about the private jets were not complaining because they think the president doesn't deserve it. They were complaining because they thought they had observed the double standards of a foreign minister in opposition and in government. The double standards is what they believe they had observed. Nobody is going to quaver about the president of Ghana flying a minimal, basic private jet so that his schedule, if the president is going to London, and they say, but you are going to London, British Airways goes. Why do you take private jet? That's understandable. I don't think President Mahama will take a private jet from Accra to London. No, he'll go with British Airways that goes every day. But when he gets to London, and he has to go to Argentina from London, or he has to go to Sao Tome and Principe before he comes to Ghana, what else is he going to do? Even the Black Stars, we take private jet for them sometimes in the history. Because the situation is terrible. Why must he be waiting in one place? It's such a security risk. It compromises the security of the president of Ghana for people to know that he is in a location outside his home base for 22 hours. I'm sad. I'm truly sad. This kind of politics. What can we say? Well, Mr. President, we are sorry. We are really sorry. You have to blame your foreign minister. We are Akufo-Addo. Here we are today. Vindication is always in the womb of time. Vindication is in the womb of time. For young people, let's not practice this kind of politics. It's terrible. And it will always come back to bite you. After 4 years, when he's been able to say about anything, and that I will resign. If the president takes the power, I will resign. If the vice president, I will look at the situation that happened to the vice president. So unfortunate. We should have let the vice president returning from London sit on British Airways, an elderly woman who is unwell. How can we do that? How can we accept that as a nation? So they chartered the plane for the vice president, and rightly so. But look at him. Look at him eating back his words. Is that what politics is about? Politics, is it about this? Is politics about this? I'm so sad. I'm so devastatingly sad. John Dramani, Mahama, we are sorry. We are so sorry. Your foreign minister. Oh, damn. Folks, it's okay. We are sorry. This is another apology we have to render. This is another apology. Today, I'm just too sad. People didn't vote. People voted left and right. People were angry at a time when we were suffering. Petrol prices was going up. Russia-Ukraine war has wreaked havoc on our pricing of commodities. Everybody was angry. Then they said somebody had stolen $1 million. Stolen $1 million and put in her house. She and her husband. They are government minister. You stolen money. Vindication is in the womb of time. Today, people are tagging me on all kinds of things about this story. What shall I say? And this is it. We are sorry. We are so sorry. This old man, I met him only once for the first time. He was almost in tears. God has kept him alive until this day. Because God knew that this day will come. God has kept him alive. Today, he's hearing the news. He couldn't even hear that well. And he was so sad, showing me the kind of work that he has done all his life. And asking me that if he's done all this work, he doesn't have that money, what did he work for? Today, open your phone, it's on all the portals. Every portal is talking about it. People didn't vote. Parliamentary candidates lost election. Some people won election on the back of a story that in the vindication of time, we now know that is not true. So it was not true. So no money had been stolen. Ghana, no money had been stolen. Ghana. Oh, I feel like crying. Devastated. I wish Nana Sase can render a poem about this. Our beloved Ghana. Please see whether I can get me Ghana, My Happy Home. That song, look for it if you can find it. Ghana. Our beloved Ghana. This is how we treat it. So it is not true. It was not true. There was no truth in it. They say no direct something. What words do they use? I've forgotten. It wasn't true. Auntie Cecilia, we are sorry. Papa, we are sorry. There's nothing for us to say. We are just sorry. We can't say anything else. Oh, this matter. It was not true. This is serious, you know. I'd like to go back and read this letter of 22nd July 2023. It reads as follows. The President, 22nd July 2023. Dear Cecilia, I have received your letter dated Saturday 22nd July 2023, resigning from office as Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources and as a member of the government. It is with considerable regret that I accept your resignation, and I applaud your loyalty to the image and standing of the government. The work you undertook during your period in government was excellent and productive, and I thank you for your wholehearted contribution and devotion to the progress of the government and the nation. I am confident, like you, that at the end of the day, your integrity, whilst in office, will be fully established. I wish you the very best in all your endeavors. Yours sincerely, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The amount of insults this letter received. Amount of insults this letter received. The amount of insults that this letter received. Vindication is in the womb of time. Let God give all of us life. Let God give all of us life. There's an election gone, another election is coming, another election will come. There will be elections, but vindication is in the womb of time. Vindication is in the womb of time. He said, I am confident, like you, that at the end of the day, your integrity, whilst in office, will be fully established. I wish you the very best in all your endeavors. At the time he wrote this, there was no talk of FBI or CIA or anything. No one even knew the dimensions that this was going to take. Today, vindication has come in the womb of time. Ghana, our Ghana. Wow. Wow. Let me have Auntie Cecilia again and apologize. Let me have Auntie Cecilia and apologize. Auntie Cecilia, we are sorry, why? We did a send me anywhere, Becca. Yentimi Yahushi, and him Guase Diego, Yentimi Carry, and him Guase Diego Dada, that I conform that I could risk the question them. Yentimi Carry, or Beno Kuru Obari. Don't fear, or Beno Kono Obari. In Yuma Johnny. Okay, Dada, Yuma Johnny. Oh, this country, let's hold it well. It's a beautiful country with an amazing future. Let's hold Ghana well. Let's forget about the past. Let's forgive those who have done what they have done. Let's forgive them. Let's forgive them in our hearts. Let's forgive them in our minds. And let's focus, because even those people, they still have something to contribute. Let me have President Mahama and Samia Okudzeto again. Even those people, they still have something to contribute. Samia Okudzeto is young. He still has something to contribute. So let's forgive them and let's tap into their talents and let's work together and build a great nation, because we are capable of doing that. Thank you very much. This is the end of my editorial. Ghana, my happy home.
For you bibi akwaba na yam founder yam platform we so hanom your number one authentic platform make TV na ye na yenim your President John Dramani Mahama and I'm no say we bun kitemakupim with Japan, Singapore as part of Ghana. Say binya yimpuntu yi development na wutie nsema Paul Adom Otchere eka Otchere mu a na chese NPP asifo akwa no ekwa no de omo ye no enye bom no mu nso ntimi nka se ye bia de omo ye ne nye, because previous government no na dankwa kufado eteso any ye Rana or Teso Okuja tabla kwa the same thing into no. You see a monsoon to me case. Yeah, a year ura equals if I and so enye. You see Ghana, the Biameka. I am a Dibiano, MPP for say almost NDC for ya the papa. That's MPP for me and Yibia. Do you know what DC? Your Mokane say. Or more try to equalize. So MPP for cry, any NDC for cry the same. Ain't you know? Say omo ya omo so penso my boy or my obianka. You see, Paul Adom Otchere jina hono pretending as if say a yeni ya a fan who say Europe. John Mahama was stuck in a year Dubai for about 22 hours on no come because of a year OT for the flight. Entro, he is pretending. Anyway, yenti Black Rasta. In fact, Black Rasta so atutubia kwa sifwa the camp. Yenti ensem na ono so di tuga. Yebeto aso yiwia.
And of course, I would like to begin with this one. I am reading from my Joy Online, and it says Mahama embarks on official visits to Japan and Singapore. And I read, Accra, August 17, 2025. President John Dramani Mahama has left Accra for official visits to Japan and Singapore as part of efforts to deepen Ghana's bilateral relations, expand trade and investment opportunities, and strengthen cooperation on shared development priorities. Now, in Japan, the president will participate in the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, where he is expected to deliver a presentation at a plenary session on the theme, the economy, promoting trade and investment. He will also address a Ghana Presidential Investment Forum to highlight Ghana's investment opportunities and the resetting Ghana agenda. Additionally, President Mahama would hold bilateral meetings with key Japanese leaders, including the president of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, senior officials of the Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, and Japan's Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba. Discussions would focus on trade, investment, infrastructure, and technical cooperation. Now, the second leg of the visit would take President Mahama to Singapore, where he will spend 3 days engaging government and private sector leaders. My brother, my sister, I must commend the president. Look at the countries he's visiting: Japan, Singapore. My brother, my sister, Singapore and Ghana have so many things in common. Ghana has a lot to learn from Singapore, that moved from a supposed third world country into what it is today. My brother, my sister, Ghana, Singapore, Malaysia, they have almost the same story of serious corruption, wastage. My brother, my sister, and today, Malaysia has been able to move an inch higher. Singapore has also been able to move an inch higher. And these two nations of Malaysia and Singapore are in Asia, including Japan. My brother, my sister, the world has moved to Africa. Technology is now home to Asia. From India all the way through China, Japan, Singapore. My brother, my sister, technology is the middle name. If Mahama is visiting these two very important countries, after the Indian Prime Minister was here only a few weeks ago, it tells you that the nation is geared towards some serious technology. The next will be China. My brother, my sister, and that way, we would be able to say, oh, you know what? We are ready to learn from who knows road, as we say in Nigeria. But back home, there are some tongues that are wagging about the president's travel. Let's look at this from Ghana Word. And it says, we are expecting your resignation. Reverend Ntim Fojo chides Ablakwa over Mahama's latest foreign travel. And I read, the Member of Parliament for Asin South, Reverend John Ntim Fojo, has called on the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, to resign. In a post shared on X on August 18, 2025, Reverend Ntim Fojo indicated that Ablakwa must resign over President John Dramani Mahama's use of a private jet for his recent trip to Japan and Singapore. As a matter of principle, he asserted that the minister must resign because he supposedly vowed to put his job on the line if the government used private jets when they come into power. Of course, my brother, my sister, we heard Okudzeto Ablakwa talking so much about private jets and how much of a spendthrift Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was. How much money he wasted on flying around the world, doing nothing but begging. We all supported Okudzeto Ablakwa. If this is what is truly happening, then of course, my brother, my sister, Reverend Ntim has a point to demand that Okudzeto Ablakwa resigns as a matter of principle. But is this true? We have the answers here. Listen. I'm reading this from Ghana Web. And it says, a disgrace of an MP Deputy Chief of Staff slams NPP MP over Mahama private jet claims. The same private jet that Ntim Fojo is talking about. And I read, Deputy Minister of Staff Stanislav Hose Dogbe has hit back at Member of Parliament for Old Tafo Vincent Eko Asefwa after the MP claimed that the President John Dramani Mahama had chartered a private jet for an international trip. Asefwa alleged on social media that the private jet with registration number MBAEP was being used by the president. He went further to estimate the supposed cost of the flight, claiming it would run into several hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the journey's route, as some people say. But this is what Stan Dogbe says, my brother, my sister, and I read, a disgrace of an MP lying unintelligently and worse still never learns from his constant mix-ups. Amevlo, he said. He further noted that Mahama did not use any private jet, but rather flew out of Accra aboard a commercial airline together with what he described as right-thinking Ghanaians. This one here would also demand to be called honorable. Even if you are not street smart, it doesn't take that much brain work to avoid embarrassing yourself. Or the president was live on many TV networks between 10:30 a.m. and 12:45 p.m. attending a Thanksgiving Mass of Dr. Edward Omani Buama at the Christ the King parish. He also stated that in his post, did he take off in the supposed jet at 7 a.m. and flew back for the 10 a.m. mass? He asked these questions. But Asefwa has returned. What did he say? Nonsense. Your smart self couldn't tell you that the post did not mention your name, neither did it mention anyone's name. If not John Mahama, how can somebody like you become a deputy chief of staff? So mischief has become the order of the day. The so-called honorable NPs, a lot of them are behaving dishonorably, and this is one of them. Dishonorable. They are certainly a disgrace to the title honorable. I wish GTech had the mandate to also decide who should carry that title or not. Guys like this would never have been called honorables. What a disgrace. Right now you lied on social media, intimating, my brother, my sister, that the president flew out using a private jet. My brother, my sister, now that you are faced with the facts, the raw facts, all he can say is that, oh, you claim you are smart, but I didn't mention the president's name, neither did I mention your name. Nonsense. That's what he says. If it's not the president, then who it is? If it's not the president, who is it? It's just mischief. It looks like they have nothing to do. The president is shocking them left, right, and center. The research agenda is on. Yes, the research agenda has mesmerized all of them. You had your irresponsible president come here and disturb the whole nation. In 8 solid years, we saw nothing but misery. A patriotic president has come and is trying to contribute to his bit to the development of the nation, and the noises won't stop. I love it when people make objective noises. We want to learn from that, but not mischievous ones like this so-called honorable who is a dishonorable. As for that unreverent Ntim Fojo, I think it's time he pulled down the clerical. He's a disgrace to the title reverend. What is happening to us? Everyday allegations, unfounded, my brother, my sister, unresearched. My brother, my sister, unsubstantiated. Yes, totally unsubstantiated, my brother. And this guy, wearing a clerical, continues to walk around and call himself a reverend. So unreverently. What a shame. The other day, this was the same guy who said there was a certain cargo plane, whatever plane it was, that was filled with cocaine, ready for money laundering on our tarmac. And when they went to arrest him, my brother, my sister, we had members of criminal conniving NPP come around, my brother, my sister, and prevent the authorities from taking this crook away. What has become of that issue? It has been swept under the carpets. That is why this crook is still talking over and over. If he had been arrested, my brother, my sister, and made to substantiate whatever he had said, I am sure that we would have had a better parliament by now. I love it when people face facts. I love it when people face us with facts. When people bring out the facts. But not charlatans who are mischievous. It is sad. Thanks to Stan Dogbe, we have come to know that the president flew in a commercial plane. Commercial plane. Commercial. My brother, my sister. With well-thinking Ghanaians sitting in there. I must applaud the president. You know why? He just escaped this helicopter crash by the skin of his teeth. You know what that statement means, right? In fact, he missed it by a whisker of his hair. My God. He would have been part of those everybody is crying for right now. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Today, my brother, my sister, investigations are going on for us to be able to ascertain the fact whether it was an accident or a terrorist attack. The president is still battling with his mental state of mind. And charlatans, mischievous charlatans, are still taunting and tormenting a man who missed death by just a whisker. Death by just a whisker. He had a close shave, my brother, my sister, with death. We were told he was supposed to be in that helicopter. By a whisker, he was able to escape. 8 people went down, my brother, my sister, into obscurity. And you have Asifwa, dishonorable Asifwa, unreverend, dishonorable Ntim Fogio. My brother, if Ntim Fogio was in the days of the Bible, he would have been one of the false prophets, one of the fallen angels writing nonsense in the Bible. He would have been one of those writing the Apocrypha. If you don't know what Apocrypha is, find out. Now the next thing I want to look at is very dicey, but I will still look at it. I'm still going to look at it. Yes. My brother, my sister, there is something interesting here. And I'm reading that from Ghana Web. It says, if we can't stop Galamsey, the 8 helicopter victims died in vain. And this is the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs. My God. Now, the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs has admonished the government to intensify efforts to combat illegal mining, known locally as Galamsey. Now, the House of Chiefs indicated that the death of the 8 individuals who died in the military helicopter crash must not be in vain. Now, speaking after signing the book of condolence at the Defense Ministry, the president of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Ni Odaifio Wellenche III, Ni Odaifio Wellenche III, opined that failing to deal with the crisis would undermine significance of the sacrifice. My brother, my sister, this is the same thing the president has said, that he's more than just determined, especially after the helicopter crash that saw 8 lives swim into oblivion, drift into total obscurity. My brother, my sister, today, my brother, my sister, we hear guns blazing, we see people dying, galamseyers, we see excavators seized left, right, and center. Doesn't that tell you that there's some amount of work going on? My brother, my sister, yes, a lot more is desired to be able to kick out this galamsey. We are hearing that some politicians are part of it, members of this government. What a shame. You rode on this and came into power, and the same people are also fueling this nasty thing called galamsey. What a shame. Sometimes I wish I was the IGP. I'll send my boys in there, go down there, shoot at sight, shoot them, shoot. If you see a politician, shoot. If you see a civilian, shoot. My brother, you are either shot or you shoot. Better still, you either shoot or you are shot. Galamsey is mass murder. But watch this interesting thing. I'm reading from Ghana Web. It says, helicopter crash was a coup plot to remove Mahama from power. And this is Abraham Kumsin alleging. And I read, now the Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour, Abraham Kumsin, has alleged that the August 6 helicopter crash at Adansi Akrofum, which claimed the lives of 8 prominent Ghanaians, was not a mere accident, but part of a failed coup attempt targeting President John Dramani Mahama. Ghana Federation of Labour, GFL, is a government outfit. Whoever is there is mandated by the government to take full reins of leadership there. And this is the guy speaking. His name is Abraham Kumsin. My brother, my sister, what information does he have that we don't? Why are we not following up on this? They say if a visually impaired man says he will stone you, he probably has a stone under his feet or in his pocket or even in his hand. My brother, my sister, we have invited the Americans in to help us unravel the mystery behind this helicopter crash. The black box has been found. We are yet to go into the details of the data. This is a gentleman here by name Abraham Kumsin. He is alleging that it was a coup plot. What does he know that we don't know? Should the authorities not quickly go to this man, invite him over, and let him give us some very important information that he has? We need to know, isn't it? For all you know, he has so much. Did he give this to the security forces? Did he give this to the investigators? Or is it one of those foolhardy utterances that we have every now and then? I want to believe that the old man here has a lot up his sleeves. Please don't let us underestimate some of these things. We have to follow up and get to know more, or else there's no need for the Americans to come here. We have already preempted, prejudiced whatever investigation that is supposed to take place. We are spending millions on this investigation. Am I making sense, my brother? Now, the other thing I would like to look at pertaining to the galamsey and this issue is very simple. My brother, my sister, If Galamsey is still going on, what is going on? Don't tell me Galamsey. I said, if Galamsey is still going on, then what is going on? My brother, my sister, what is the work done against Galamsey? I'm reading this from my own Tree News. And it says, Galamsey, you promised to declare a state of emergency. Just do it. Miracles tells NDC government. So the state of emergency, what's happening to it? What is the plan? Is there a plan? Or are we waiting for another helicopter to crash so that we will come out like the parrots that we are, making ugly noises all over the place, giving lip service to Galamsey? Why can't we just stop Galamsey? We are tired of the ugly noises. Oh, some members of the ruling NDC are involved in it and blah. Shoot them! What are the guns there for? Shoot them! We still have graves, mass graves that we can bury them. Do you want them to kill us before we become fallen angels? They are poisoning the water bodies. They are killing flora and fauna. Do you need any rocket science to tell you that we are heading towards a Armageddon? Shoot them, my brother. If you have a weak system, this is what happens. My brother, my sister, there's something here I'm going to look at, and that will be the end of it. This morning I woke up and I saw a video supposedly taken at the Rich Hospital. Somebody was ranting all over the place. There was somebody lying down there bleeding, obviously in a critical condition, and nurses were sitting down there and allegedly demanding a certain document before they would deal with the patient. There's a story here from Graphic Online. I'm going to read it. It says, Rich Hospital condemns staff assault amid emergency ward confrontation. And I read, now the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Rich Hospital, has issued a stern response to a viral social media video showing a confrontation between its emergency ward staff and a group including a popular social media activist. Now the incident, which involved alleged delays in treating a critically injured patient, escalated into verbal aggression and the assault of a nurse, prompting hospital management to call in the Ghana police to restore order. Now, in an official statement signed by head of public relations Juliana Hariwa, the hospital acknowledged the incident occurred when clinicians were managing multiple emergencies. Relatives and friends of the accident victims reportedly invaded the emergency triage, causing disruptions that temporarily halted services. Their overwhelming presence disrupted the smooth delivery of care, caused unnecessary tension, and even threatened the safety of our clinicians. The statement read, it further condemns the assault on staff as unacceptable, emphasizing that such actions put lives at risk. My brother, my sister, when it comes to health delivery and patients, I get very emotional about this. My mother fell ill in Tamale. She complained that she had body weakness, and we just suspected that it might just be some fever or malaria. So we decided to take her to the hospital. I wasn't around. Family took her to hospital, and the doctor or whoever was responsible immediately started giving her drips, dextrose, sugar solution. She started to have some spasms, some fits. It was then that the doctor stopped the drip, and then he turned to the family and asked, "Is she diabetic?" My brother, common sense will tell you, you do not pour fire in a liquid and wait until it catches fire before you say, "Oh, was it petrol?" What do? You investigate. Find out if this is petrol, kerosene, or diesel, or even water. Then you can comfortably pour the fire into the water, knowing what result you would achieve. But you don't see just any liquid and start pouring fire into that. That was what the doctor did at the Tamale hospital there. My brother, my sister, the woman never returned to life. She died a very painful death. I have never forgiven the hospital, never forgiven the doctor, never forgiven anybody. And when the woman was even in the bout of fits, she was shaking, and I was told that family rushed to call the doctor. He was shouting that he was busy. "Can't you see that I'm taking care of other patients?" And at his own time, when he returned, the woman was gone. A private hospital in Tamale. I've told this story time and again. I'll keep telling this story till the doctor dies and is buried in a very, very shallow grave until he repents. I lost my mother because of a careless doctor, useless, careless doctor. Out of anger, when I was rushing to the hospital, coming from a Muslim society, everybody started preaching. It's Allah who gives and it's Allah who takes. Let her rest in peace. We have some really hard-working doctors who lay down their lives to be able to appreciate the vow that they took to save lives. And there are some who are just charlatans. They are so fed up with politicians. They are so fed up with the nation, and they can only vent their spleen on the sick. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened at Rich Hospital. But the little I saw in the video, this gentleman was lying down while some staff were standing by. Maybe they were not nurses, they were just administrators. My brother, my sister, shouldn't every hospital staff be taught some level of first aid? Go to our hospitals and see. A lot of these administrators know nothing about health. All they are there to do is to write long essays and write minutes of meetings. My brother, my sister, they do not know the difference between a needle and a syringe. They do not know the difference between gauze and cotton. My brother, my sister, if you thought I was being emotional, check it out for yourself. We should make it a law that anybody who ever gets employed in the hospital, from the one who cleans, from janitors all the way up to whoever is up there, they should know at least some first aid. Is it difficult to learn that? That when somebody comes in, this is how you stretcher the person in. Or when somebody has this and they come, you can apply this direct pressure to stop a certain kind of bleeding, or do this. At least first aid should be taught every worker in any hospital in Ghana. How do you work in a mechanic's shop and you do not know how to spark a car? What kind of mechanic shop are you working in? You should know some basic things, my brother, my sister. You cannot work in a broadcasting house like MG, my brother, my sister, Media General, and do not know that when you are approaching the talk studio, you should be able to tell that this is the talk studio, therefore you shouldn't make noise. You should know some basics of what you are working in. Am I right? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being emotional for nothing. The video I saw, the guy, I will be surprised if he leaves. But I also appreciate the fact that the patient-doctor ratio in Ghana is so terrible, especially that Nana Akufo-Addo and his government frustrated more nurses and doctors to run out of this country. And I've never forgiven him for that. Hey, doctors are leaving Ghana and they are going to the UK to clean all people's things. I won't mention what exactly it is. A qualified medical doctor in Ghana is in the UK and he's cleaning all people. 99-year-olds who cannot use the bathroom, that is his duty. He cleans them anytime he gets poop. He's there cleaning left, right, and center. Because over there, they earn more than what we give our doctors here. Patriotism has died. Nobody is pushing patriotism. Nkrumah made it so deliberate when he founded the Young Pioneers and pushed them towards patriotism. That is the office I'm looking at. My brother, my sister, the office of the patriot. Are you crazy? What are we doing about our doctors and nurses? We already didn't have enough. A lot of them have run out. Now Ghanaian teachers are also running to Thailand and China to go and teach English. At the end of the day, it's only cockroaches and lizards who would remain in this country. Because all of us would have run out of this country to clean old white people in America and England. And when we come home, money has no color. Nobody traces to find out how you made your money. Rich Hospital. This is not the first time we are hearing of this nonsense there. Please, with all respect, we know that you're doing a lot of work, but some of you are bad nuts. Like in every society, we remember Inusa Fuseni. He took his wife there, pregnant wife, out of negligence. The woman lost her life. Yeah. And it was all over in the news. We remember John Evans at Tamils talking about this. But the president simply told him, you know what? It's God who gives and it's God who takes. Don't worry about it. It will be okay. I remember how emotional Inusa Fuseni was. He has never been the same after the death of his wife in that manner. How many more people, not in the rank of Inusa Fuseni, have been so carelessly and irresponsibly sent into early graves without any iota of noise made because they are not VIPs? Please, it's a two-edged sword. No form of violence should ever happen in any hospital. At the same time, our numbers as in doctors and nurses and health workers must increase.
So this is Nsema Black Rasta. And so one thing I like about this Black Rasta guy, he's always been sincere. What you say? Abrebiano, where we make sure say he gets his facts correct. He's on point. He's speaking the facts to, he's speaking the truth to power. And that is how a very intelligent and every journalist in this country should have been. Like a journalist be a base Black Rasta. Now beka no kware no said the kware ni sitie. Now unko yeso de wada enko mine beko nani. I've been closely watching this guy, Black Rasta. He's a genius guy. He's, I mean, utemu se nedwuma na wo ye ne je ho, and he loves to speak the truth. He loves to speak the truth always. What I say, enti yamisha urano. The one thing about this thing, Mahama president, commissioner, you see, Ghana politics, you know, you know, you will be a Kufa brow fast, ofasa omuka chartered flight na no de nam bi mo dwalim no on nanti no de da ni se wabruni omutitim no yemisa se mfaso de ben na de bra Ghana okoye ni dwumadi ben no kudi ye ade na okoye no ho yemisa ye ho na yemisa ye ho se yewura John Mahama at this crucial moment dwumadi ben edo kudi no Singapore and Japan. Enti ye kansa mienu we bom na ye hu se omo mienu no baako de no dem kwa no dware ena jacuzzi no tim no didi no tabi ojane na ngum na ade. But we there no, he is going to an important conference and Dwana me share life from Japan. Omo conference to mo ye ni bi. You could see said this is a serious business. Tabena Kufa record on life. If you record no mudia send Ghana for. Recording no mudia send Ghana for. But John Mahama drew on. He mean business. He means what? Business. And you know, where we can no charter flight at average amount. He deserve it. Any kwanze ye shemano on barazina. I feel no calling them commercial flight na the flight na the ade. Idi kwanza transfer my own I embarrassing ho. Idi kwanza NPP for we no because amwan in some more no omo president yewra Akufo-Addo buy no or charter flight na no de nam baby a odi gineni instead of mind business instead of so on minor reasons into no or the TB no di gineni but yewra John Mahama. He is not doing that. He is not making such moves. It is why would we, I mean, normalized say, I will say Mahama so. Ye manin chata. Eti obiti baby say o Vincent Asifua. I will not so son MP. Ochirimo son cry a lawyer. I have to say. I forgery crata at the ababonti so no. Well, who say Obia charter flight and this is the expenses of it. Meanwhile, noon urani yanti or yato. So urano ya na yakasi oh yakai why. This is a very, very, very dirty and a very childish politics of today. Ghana na I was saying, I've been saying of mine, she be ya legina so. The ye is subanya identity and the ye identity. On my way, ebe ya na eden ejina so. Because we have been our own enemies. Akufo-Addo de ko e de emisa si dwumadi ben no kodi ye de nempo mfaso de ben na de bro man no. And let's ask ourselves, see John Mahama ekoi dwumadi ben na kodi mfaso de ben ene no na wo si ehwe. Anye zo bi be charter flight president bi ba no charter flight no de kone na ma no betina sia. Omusi an president no charter flight ntin we so ba mo chat. Yemisa so mo mi no adwuma ben na mo koye. What is the difference? Adwuma ben na mo koye. Obi a de adwuma ben na mo koye. Ghana na nkasa odwen ho nchase o man no. Dirty people no toss. NPP for just a trauma asase mom kotena. Oni to go ko bohye o baby. and you Ghana so because sometimes no more some can watch it and you don't understand. It's Paul Adom Otchere nyama we okay na no. Maka to say menya NDC new but enema bu ho no ma otana se na adwen who say no. Saa de we uye Ghana ni na say upomani ya it shouldn't have done in the first place. It can say in the first place no. Eye adwuma. What na me chora say. And I am not supporting NDC for brass or Mokoka say Kufado is but it means a Kufado for flight. Juma dear Ben who could be and fast dear Ben any the bro mine. It is a Mahama so Chatebi Koba near young fast debia where we can start the argument, where we can start blaming, criticizing constructively. But we know I feel no kwe Jumadino. And we need to check the kind of, conference or Jumadi bio kudi. Na yen hwem fa so de bebro man no. Ansa yetena se akansa nsem no. Se wa yesi it is no kware se owura no fa commercial flight eno de ko ya. Ene se ya embrace John Mahama. Ya embrace no. Enti no, ya asemu Ghana. So wa dwo conversation. Bye bye.